Libra, welcome to your mid-September 2022 Tarot update. It's Raina here. You're the second reading I'm doing, and I forgot to tell Virgo that I took out two cards from this deck because this particular deck, it's called, I can't remember the name of it. Oh well. This deck has two additional cards in it, and one is called Morning and one is called Night. And I have tried to use them, incorporate them, and I'm just not feeling it. And so I just, left them out. The heart of the matter is the Devil card. The Devil card, don't ask me. I really like the colors and the artistry of these cards, but this particular image of the devil, I'm not quite sure. Maybe somebody who is sometimes acting like an animal and is a man, but a sad person at the same time. The devil, to me, can be, in addition to the classic definition of being in bondage to some kind of carnal desire, to lust, or maybe to greed. It can be another person in your life who possibly is a narcissistic type of personality, a person who is, I was going to say is evil, but there's varying degrees of evil. And sometimes things like lust and materialism are why the other party is attached to that individual. So, for instance, think about a young model in Hollywood who marries like an older established man who's a multimillionaire because she wants that status, she wants that lifestyle, and she's just starting out, or she doesn't make anything near what he makes, and he puts her through so much hell behind closed doors. Well, she could leave, but she might be so afraid of losing that status and going back to being a quote-unquote nobody that she's not willing to give that up. So sometimes people sacrifice a big chunk of themselves for certain things, and there may be another person involved, but actually ultimately you could be your own worst enemy by doing so. Also, we have to say that the devil is connected to Capricorn. And so a Capricorn individual, and the fact that this could be a workplace issue. Are you still working someplace for the wrong reasons? Maybe it is for money and it isn't really what you love. In the past position, we have the Three of Torches, Three of Wands. I'm going to be talking about it in the classic reference to this card so people don't get confused. So the Three of Wands is about expansion or wanting expansion, but something may have recently come into your life that has reminded you of what is possible for you, Libra. So typically when I think of Libra, I think of the person, who is very into, who makes relationship a very big part of their identity and reality. Doesn't mean I'm saying that you just have no identity of your own, but you just place a very high importance typically of, when it comes to relationships. Now, let's say that and maybe you're single, currently single, but you might be looking for a relationship. But for those people who are coupled, you may have recently come across uh, maybe it was even strangers, but you're talking to someone and you see the type of relationship they have. You go visiting an old friend of yours, and you haven't seen them since they got married or got with a certain person, and you see how that other person treats them. And you say to yourself, wow, I didn't know that was possible. I thought everybody was treating their partner in this negative way. Maybe that's all you've ever seen. And so you just accepted that as normal. And you realize that you're dealing with something that is not how it should be. That's expansion. Even if you haven't actually taken any steps whatsoever, your consciousness has expanded. And what it means is it's made space for that potential. And so then, it takes action, and that's all in due time to change what is going on. But that's the first step. So, yeah, something like that. And also in terms of work situations, sometimes people get so caught up in, oh, wow, I have this, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, the things that other people might give you a lot of strokes for being. And then, but inside, you're like not happy. And maybe you got a spiritual, I'm trying to think of something that's off the beaten path. Maybe you went and got some kind of like a spiritual tune up, or, some kind of energy work, and you saw the way that that person seemed to be very absorbed in their work and they seemed to love what they do. Or you went into a gallery and you talked to an artist and they're passionate about what they do. And you want to have that in your life. And so that's, just the idea or the longing is the first step. The higher message is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of material self-sufficiency. Maybe you're somebody that is already at this point. And really, I would say that this card ultimately is saying you have everything that you need. Some people don't really absorb that reality because they constantly move the goalposts. Or some people have endless desires. So how are you selling your soul? And what is the price? What is the, what is it worth? That's the question that you might be asking. And remember that this is the month of your solar return, the equinox, the time of great shifts. And there's actually a new moon. Now, this is towards the end of the month, on the 25th in your sign. This new cycle set to begin. And it's a great time to really go over some of these issues, which may be really big for you at this time. What crosses you is the Eight of Swords, and this is, I really like that, those colors and that drawing. The Eight of Swords is about those old tapes that may be playing in your head, that projections of other people and their issues that have nothing to do with you. And that are self-defeating thoughts that are not encouraging, not believing that you can do things. Negative self-talk, I think that's the best way of putting it. What is it that keeps you from doing what really you're meant to do by expansion? Three of Wands. I was going to say torches. Three of Wands. That feeling, the devil in the Rider-Waite deck shows those two people that are chained together. Naked people chained together in bondage because they can't break away from it. They have this obsession, compulsion. But that is a form of imprisonment. what is coming in is the Temperance card. This is a card associated with Sagittarius. And one thing about Sag, it's funny that there's a lion there. It'd be interesting to know. I'll have to look at the original Temperance card. Or I should say the Rider-Waite Temperance. Because I don't remember a lion being there. But it's interesting because the lion does represent that inner confidence, strength. This card is one of balance. And you see the mountains in the backdrop. And the person has their foot on, I don't think that's water, but earth. And it is about the spiritual and the material. And being able to, combine the two. And I think this is exactly what the problem is that the overemphasis on the material leads a person to neglect their other gifts. Maybe they're God-given gifts, that maybe they're an artist, a healer, but they're so concerned about that money. And here we have the outcome, the Queen of Cups. This is the artist. This is the healer. And this is the mother energy. So, that could be it too. Are you a woman who is wanting children but afraid to give up your career? Afraid to give up that status because you think that motherhood is a step down? Really, really worth exploring these concepts at a deeper level, because you will find that a lot of that is this. A lot of that is those fake concepts or messages, toxic messages sent by who's programming us to think that one thing is better than the other. In order to step into our authenticity, we have to definitely transcend those outer messages that would dictate to us what we choose. Because we do have free will, and we have to use it. Okay, that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care.